Hey there. Great news on the horizon for electric vehicles, EVs. According to a recent study from Carnegie Mellon, the costs associated with owning and operating EVs in coal-heavy regions of the eastern United States have taken a nosedive. How come? Well, it turns out that as coal-fired power plants are gradually replaced by cleaner natural gas, the overall impact of EVs on climate change and human health has significantly decreased. This means that now, the lifetime emissions costs of electric and gasoline vehicles are becoming pretty similar. But what's in store for EVs after 2025? That's where things get interesting. According to Professor Jeremy Michalek, one of the brains behind the study, the future of EVs depends on a few key factors. While we often think that the rise of wind and solar power will make charging EVs cleaner, Professor Michalek explains that in the short term, other factors like battery composition and emissions standards for power plants and vehicles will have a bigger impact. The study zooms in on the PJM power grid region, covering a huge chunk of the eastern U, and serves as a good gauge for what might happen nationwide. And the good news keeps coming. The study predicts that EV emissions costs will keep dropping until 2025. But what happens next? Well, that's where things get a bit uncertain. Depending on how the power grid evolves, advancements in battery tech, and changes in public policy, EV emissions costs could go up, down, or stay the same. To help us understand all this, there's an awesome interactive website created by Matthew Bruchon, one of the study's co-authors. This tool lets us compare the emissions of gas and electric vehicles under different scenarios, so we can see which factors matter most. So what are these key factors? Firstly, switching to battery types that don't rely on nickel could be a game changer. Why? Because nickel production can release harmful emissions and contribute to health issues. Secondly, public policy plays a huge role. If we want to keep reducing emissions from EVs, we need strong regulations on both power plant emissions and vehicle standards. Luckily, there are new standards in the pipeline, proposed by the Environmental Protection Agency, that could help steer us in the right direction. These standards are still being finalized, but they could have a big impact on the future of EVs and our planet. Exciting times ahead for electric vehicles.
Thank you.